Good morning, students. Welcome back to the online social class. I hope you all have written your examinations and be ready for the new sessions of the lessons. We have been learning about the polar regions, the life in the polar regions, the people who are living in the polar regions. Who are the people who live in the polar regions? They are called Eskimos. There are different groups of Eskimos, and polar regions are very cold. The land is frozen, so agriculture is not possible there. The main livelihood of the people is hunting and fishing. They hunt caribous and seals, etc. And also they catch fish, and their main food is these things only. That's what we are going to study today. The food of Eskimos. Meat, fat and fish. Meat, fat and fish are the main food items of Eskimos. Vegetables are a rare factor because agriculture is not possible in this region. So vegetables are not there. They mainly eat meat, fat and fish. So they hunt the animals. Which animals? They hunt which animals? Caribou. Already we discussed the caribou. They hunt caribous. Because they mainly depend on fishing and hunting, there is a problem. There are some times when fish and animals are not available for hunting. Then they won't get food. So there is time of starvation and hunger for these people. I mean, whenever they hunt animals, they do not eat the full meat together. They keep some of it for future use. How do they keep it? The nature itself acts like a fridge. So they make a pit in the snow. They dig a pit in the snow and they dig up to the permafrost. What is permafrost? Permafrost means the frozen land. Frozen soil. The soil freezes and appears like a rock. Up to this permafrost, they dig and make a pit and keep the meat and fish, etc. inside and cover it with the rocks, stones, etc. Because to protect it from other animals, if they do not do so, hungry animals will come and they will dig the pit and take and go the meat and all. So to protect the food, they cover the pit with big stones, etc. Firewood is not available in this region. Trees are not there. Automatically firewood also is not available. So cooking may be impossible for many occasions. So they eat this food almost raw food without cooking. They eat meat, fish, etc. without cooking. And for that there are different processes. They cut it into pieces. They cut meat, fish, etc. into pieces and they dip them in oil. What oil? whale oil or seal oil. Whale machli, the biggest fish. They hunt the whale and they take oil from whale. Whale oil is very costly. Only for oil, many people are hunting whales. And they dip the pieces of meat in the whale oil and eat. Or seal oil. Seal is an animal. Seal, you can see in the picture here. They kill seals and make oil from its fat, and they dip the pieces of meat in the seal oil and eat. Another method of eating food is they allow the meat to decay. Decay means if the meat is kept for some days, it becomes soft, it becomes tender, it begins to decay, decompose. At that time, the toughness of the meat will go, it will become soft, then it is easy to bite it and eat it, also digesting. So like that also they eat the meat. So this is the main way of their eating. And whenever they cook the food, sometimes they cook the food. Whenever they cook the food, they just boil it, that all. They just boil the meat to make it soft. Like that only they are cooking. So this is the food of Eskimos. Next, shelter. Shelter means the houses of Eskimos. In Eskimo language, house means igloo. Or igloo means house, shelter. Where do they live in? In the smaller classes, you have seen the picture of an igloo. But igloo may not be always like that. Igloo means the houses of any shape. There can be different shapes. And this igloo is made from snow. What snow? Packed snow. Igloo is made out of packed snow. From the snow, igloo is made. The house for the Eskimos is made. And the shape of the igloo, you can see here. And look at the picture and listen to the explanation with the picture. So here you see the picture of an igloo. This igloo is made from snow. It is said that the igloos are made from packed snow. Here you can see a small opening. It's a door of the house. But inside, sufficient facility is there. Let us see the inside of an igloo also. Here you see the inside of an igloo. So this is the entrance here. And entrance is a tunnel actually. At the sides of this entrance there are benches made of snow. You can see benches made of snow. These are used for keeping things. And these kinds of benches are made inside also, on which they will put animal skin, caribou skin or the skin of some animals, and they will sleep on it. So this is the snow house. In winter season they make larger snow houses and to stay inside. Actually, it is not cool inside. It is warm only inside. Here you see the pictures of tents made by Eskimos. In some places like Alaska, etc., they make winter tents using walrus skins. And they are applied on wooden frames. And they live in this tents in these tents in the summer season. In winter season, they make a large such tents and stay inside. They cover it with the ice tubs, snow tubs. Snow tubs means the snow cover from the ground. They cover in large quantity and apply on the top of this tent. Like that, they make the tents to stay in the winter season. Actually, igloos are dome shaped, and it is made in a depression. Depression means wherever there is a pit-like structure, there only they make a igloos. From the top, we may see it very small, but actually it is only entrance. Through this entrance, we have to go down to the ground. There only the house is, real house is, and there is sufficient facility for them. Now, clothing and crafts. Clothing and crafts. Clothing means what kind of clothes do they wear? Eskimos wear mainly three types of clothes. One is a kind of boots. These boots are called mukluks. What are these boots called? Mukluks. Mukluks are the boots worn by Eskimos. And they wear trousers. Trousers means a dress like pants. Then they wear jackets. What kind of jackets? Hooded jackets. Hooded jackets. These hooded jackets are called parkas. What are parkas? Parkas are called hooded jackets. And these things are made of animal skin. Watch the pictures here and listen to the explanation. What you see here is called mukluks. These are a particular kinds of boots which keeps the feet and leg warm. This is what they wear, the Eskimos wear. Look at these pictures. Here are some pictures of the parkas used by Eskimos. The parkas have a hooded head. That means a cap-like structure which can be worn over head. That is shown here. So this is the dressing style of Eskimos. The Eskimos do decoration works fantastically. They decorate the objects of daily use, everyday use. They decorate it. For example, they shape their tools in such a way that they can hold it comfortably. In such a way, they decorate the tools. Eskimos make soft stones, bones, ivory, wood, etc. and make small figures of people and animals. They make small figures of people and animals with what? With the bones, ivory. Ivory means the teeth of walrus, etc. and wood and soft stones. With this, they make beautiful figures, small figures of people and animals. Okay. They make masks out of wood. Make masks carved of wood and paint it and decorate the feathers with the animal. Decorate it with the feathers and the animal skins. These are important about the the craft work of the Eskimos. About religious faith, they have very, very funny, very interesting beliefs. The people believe, the Eskimos believe that spirits control their things. Spirits. What's meant by spirits? Atma. Spirits control their things. All Eskimos groups believe in supernatural power. Supernatural power means the power above the human power, the natural power. There is some invisible power, and this power is there, supernatural power. We usually call this power God. And here they call this supernatural power by the name Sila. And spirits also supernatural. Sila. And another one, Sadhana. Sadhana is a spirit, the goddess of life, health and food. The Eskimos believed that Sadhana is the god of life, health and food. Sadhana gives them life, sadhana gives them health, sadhana gives them food, like that they believed. They also believed that the animals also have soul and live after death. That live after death. After death, the spirits live. They believed that the animals also have a soul. People and animals have soul which live after death. We know that Eskimos are different groups. Each group has different beliefs. Each Eskimo group has its own rituals and practices. They use some kind of taboos or bans. Bans means forbidding certain actions. Forbidding means saying no to certain actions. Don't do. That is bans. What are forbidding? Eating a particular food, particular kind of food is forbidden. It's a ban. The part of their culture. Also, some major ceremonies are performed at birth and death, or when hunting is very poor, or when hunting is very poor or very successful. They do some ceremonies, do some rituals, do some special pujas. On what occasions? At the time of birth and at the time of death. On these occasions they have special rituals. Also when there is a poor hunting, when they do not get sufficient food, and when they get very good hunting, very good food, sufficient food when they get, then also they do ceremonies. Some people called shamans perform the rituals, shamans. Like we have pujaris now in the temple, priests are there. The priests perform the pujas for us. Like that, Eskimos have shamans to perform the rituals for them. And what do the shamans do? Shamans are believed to help establish and keep contacts with the spiritual world. Shaman helped the people come in contact with the spiritual world. Spiritual world means come in contact with God and spirit. Already we found Sila, Sadhana, like gods. And also they believe that animals and human beings have souls which live after death also. So shaman helped them to come in contact with these things. And shaman uses trances, drama and magic tricks in their performances. Trances, some kind of magical activities which only pujaris or shamans can do. Also, shamans do drama. Drama means what to say, some kind of actions. Some kind of actions. We know that tantric block. Tantric do like that, like that they do. Or as if they are bringing something from the space like that. They are doing some actions. These kinds of actions are meant by dramas. And they use the magic tricks in their performances also. Recreation. They have recreation activity. That means free time activities. What are the free time activities? Wrestling, racing, means running race, harpoon throwing, like we have a discus throw. These kinds of competitions are there. Also there are games of skill. Games of skill are essential parts of the religious rituals such as storytelling, singing, drumming and dancing. Drumming, dum 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 dum, drumming. So these are the recreation activities of the Eskimos. Okay. They have parties and social visits also. And on these occasions, on all these occasions, there is huge feast of meat and fat. They make food to eat and enjoy. So these are the important activities of recreations of the Eskimos. Then contacts with the outside world. Eskimos come in contact with the outside world nowadays. The first Europeans to come into contact with Eskimos were Vikings from Iceland. These Icelanders settled in Greenland and they came in contact with the Eskimos. From 1200 and up to 1400, they were in Greenland in contact with the Eskimos. Other Europeans came into contact with the Eskimos after 1576-78 AD. It happened when Martin Frobisher, he was a mariner. Mariner means a person who has sea activities, sea route activities, sea traveling activities. He visited Baffin Island, Danish, Norwegian, and English explorers also came to this far north to find the fabled Northwest Passage. Fabled Northwest Passage means there was a saying about a route to China through the coast of Arctic Ocean, and that was a fantasy, is a fable. And to explore this sea route, these people, Danish, Norwegian and English explorers came to that area, thus came into contact with these people. By 1728, Russians arrived in Siberia and North Alaska, like that. And some Eskimo groups in the northern Arctic islands did not have much contact with outsiders until the late 19th century. Some Eskimos did not have contact with the outside people. Outside people means the people other than Eskimos. They had no connection until 19th century. After 1850, Europeans arrived. Americans also arrived. Europeans and American whalers. Whalers means those who hunt whales. They arrived there and they appointed Eskimos to work with them to hunt the whales. That means they gave some employment to these people. Also, Eskimos worked, sold furs to the traders. Fur of the animals they hunted. The outsiders in turn provided a steady source of metal tools and rifles to them. Rifles. Now it became easy for them to do their hunting. Yes, a new demand for furs. Animals were hunted and killed in greater numbers. Thus, caribou and seals almost came to an end. Almost came to extinction. Extinction means Sarvanashamai Poela Ainde because of the extreme hunting. And with the coming of the foreigners, outsiders, some diseases also came to there. Before that, these diseases were not there. Which diseases came to this region? Smallpox, tuberculosis, influenza, pneumonia, mumps, scarlet fever, and diphtheria. These kinds of dangerous diseases came to Eskimos with the coming of the outsiders. Scarlet fever is a disease caused by Streptococcus bacteria, and it causes fever and a kind of a scarlet rash on the body. Again, after the 1800s, a large number of Europeans began to live year-round in the Arctic, and these diseases became very serious also. So the pattern of relation between the Eskimos and outsiders has been described as boom and bust. Okay. So the coming of outsiders into the Eskimo region brought brief periods of wealth, education and employment also. But at the same time, it led to poverty and disorganization also. The peak periods of this relationship was in those of whaling, 1859 to 1910. Again, the modern fur trade, 1925 to about 1950. The building of military and defense bases, mid-1950s. The building of urban centers, mid-1960s. And oil exploration and development, the 1970s. These periods observed the peak time of the Eskimo-European relationship. Okay. Northlands. The Northlands have been opened up by air travel, highways, powerful modern ships, and satellite communications nowadays. So these changes have produced great strains on the Eskimo way of life. That means their natural life now gone. They also have become little bit modern. So this is about the life of the polar regions. So you read this lesson again and again, answer the questions I sent to you, and answer sent to me. Okay? Thank you.